Thank you. We'll reconvene, and we have with us Vincent, who is one of the adjoining property owners of the development area at South Gore. So we've got myself, Keith Hovell, to my right, Glenys Dixon, councillor, and a Commissioner, Maria Bartlett, who's an independent person on the panel, and sitting opposite me is Victoria Woodbridge, who was the author of the report. So this morning we've had talkies already with the Silver Ferns farm people, who are opposed to the roading alignment going through their land, reaching down into Sale Yard Road, and just heard from them, and also talked to Victoria about what's in the report. We understand that your property is the funny shaped one, with looks like a large building in it near the centre.
That's an arena.
It's an arena, right? And other buildings to the left, and access is in from Sale Yard Road. Is that right?
Correct.
Right. So in your hands, please talk to us in terms of what you'd like to present.
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to my submissions. It will become evident as I speak, and I may refer to the map that you have in front of you. I purchased my 7 acres about 17 years ago, and 8 months ago we moved into our permanent home there. To achieve this, I had resumed my work as a nurse about 20 years ago after raising a large family. The last 10 years as an ED, RN at Kew, and a rural nurse specialist serving on the south coast. I now consider myself to be semi-retired. So, in my reality, I'm now living the dream. A few acres, 5 horses. However, I'm not here to say, not in my backyard. That's not what I'm about. But I am stating, let's do this with a longer vision. Industry needs to be somewhere, but let's make the boundary between these two proposed areas of industry and rural lifestyle something of a win-win. A natural corridor, 15 metres wide. Plant our native trees and plant species. Allow a walk, cycle, bridleway. This is for the future, for future families and walkers and natural wildlife to have a space reserved. Away from State Highway 1, the railway line, and also easy accessibility to urban area via Racecourse Road. A little bit of history. I'm not sure of the year, but there had been a set-aside area zoned equestrian near me, not just the racecourse. That has gone. I advocate that a bridleway be incorporated into this shared green corridor. Planning now would ensure that equestrians like myself of more modest means have a safer area to ride than the main roads, which have become busier and larger. Realistically, I will not be adversely affected by the future planning, but I'm speaking up for those who come after me. Let me say again, ensure in your planning a green corridor between industry and rural lifestyle, allowing a coexistence with minimal abrasive overlap. We are all in this together. Let's plan for our whānau's future. As you can see on the map, that's an arena that I have there. It's a 60 by 20. And incidentally, I do have small children frequently coming to improve their horse skills and riding. So it's quite important that it be a safe and trouble-free environment with not too much a sort of activity over the road. But a 15-metre barrier would be exactly that. And we now have a permanent home on there, as I said. And that concludes my my submission, speaking to them, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. There no doubt be a few questions. First of all, Saleyard Road, how much traffic is on that? And what condition is it in? It's been a while since I've been down there.
From the freezing works to the main road, it's pretty good. There is a lot of traffic on there. People are generally very polite. I don't have any issues. The truck drivers are no issues at all. It's fine. From where the tar seal ends, it's anybody's guess. Go and have a look. It's like a rural road anywhere. It's a few potholes. Some people grizzle about it, but I consider them speed bumps that might cause other people who are undesirable to not venture further.
Right, okay, it's got an upside. As part of your submission, you were making reference to, rather than an industrial zone having, was it no, there was concern about the range of activities that could take place there.
Because my understanding of industrial is that it could actually be on the heavy side, and that would certainly not be desirable.
Right, so yes, and you had asked for, should be a light industrial
yes.
area.
Yes.
So the, you talked about the equestrian zoning.
Yes.
It dates back to 1986, when the land was part of the Southland County. And they recognised the racecourse and the surrounding lands, and even I think the other side of Racecourse Road as being an area desirable to keep for horse training.
Yes, apparently you couldn't build a new house without building a stable.
Correct. And when the new Gore district came along, and the plan they prepared in 2003, it disappeared at that time, and the land just became
very
rural.
sadly, very quietly, I have to say, because I would have been quite loud.
Yeah. So, others got any questions?
I'm really interested in your 15-metre idea, and I wondered, when we're looking at your property in the arena, what's the distance between the
end of the arena and the road? 10 metres.
Yeah, okay. Just so that I could then visualise. Yes.
That was arbitrary, but I just thought it has to be more than 5.
And so, and what you'd be imagining is that were you thinking that would happen on the industrial side?
Yes, that would make sense, because they have to, as part of their resource consents, they have to have an easement from any boundary anyway, and I thought, well, at the planning stage, let's just be a little bit more generous on that.
And I was picking up that you were imagining it would head towards Racecourse Road, so basically on that on that boundary line of the industrial zone all the way to Racecourse Road.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to check that's what you were imagining. Yeah.
What do you envisage on what is currently the racecourse land? I guess the flagging we get from what's happening around the country is that its future isn't guaranteed across the whole of the property.
Nobody's future's guaranteed. True. I would imagine, just as I envisaged it, just a decent easement off the access way, which I'm presuming the red line would be eventually a road.
Right. So the access way is that Racecourse Lane you're referring to?
No, right through to Racecourse Road.
The Silver Ferns Farm land is directly opposite you. So they just use that for grazing of cattle, is it, while they're waiting to...
No, sheep, cattle and matara. Yeah, sheep. It's a very pleasant outlook. And as I said in my submission, I'm probably not going to be affected in my lifetime, considering I want to stay alive till I'm 90 riding my horses. But that won't really affect me, I don't think. but I'm thinking ahead and I'm thinking of future generations. And if we don't start thinking in terms of the next, as you know, with the advanced planning of these things, we have to look ahead. And I can see that as being quite a nice little walkway and a very nice place for people to walk off the main road.
Is the access to your property a shared right-of-way, or is it
It is a
legal
shared
right?
right-of-way. It is a
Right,
shared
so it's not a
right-of-way.
road?
No, it is not. It's a
Right.
private roadway.
So there's yourself, the Talbots, which are on Sale Yard Road, and so who's the next one between?
Gibsons. Gibsons and I are the only ones who don't have access to Sale Yard Road as, you know, like it's a paper road from the right angle bend.
Yep.
But effectively the Talbots would have access to that Sale Yard Road for future development, but we're the two that are landlocked.
At the western side of your property, is there a hedge along there?
Yes, a wonderful gorse hedge.
What is a horse hedge?
Gorse.
Oh, gorse, gorse.
That horrible sin.
It's a noxious weed. Yes. All right, I think that's all I need, thank you.
Interestingly, just for the record, that the waterway on the boundary of my property to the west is technically considered as a drain, but either end by a few hundred metres it is called the stream because it was straightened, which is a very interesting little anomaly.
Because there's some issues with that further towards Racecourse Road, isn't there?
The power station are clearing what they need to so they don't get flooded, but currently there's some work in progress to see if we can all agree to get a contractor in to remove all the gorse.
Right.
The various landowners.
Okay, Maria, anything from you?
No, that's it. Your request is clear. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in, Donna. Yeah, please keep that plan and show to others.
Thank you very much.
And as I said to you, it's one of the ones that is one of the meatier issues for us to consider today. So your input has been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
Yes, Donna, the notes that you used,
Yes?
Venus here was wondering if it's possible to have a copy.
It's all longhand.
Yes, it's just, I missed some of your points, which I
Okay.
think would be great just to.
Sure.
We can
I'll tell you
photocopy-
what, you photocopy them and yeah, for sure.
Um,
That was about my fourth
Yeah.
writing, so it's probably worth.
So if you can just wait a moment, we'll get a
Sure.
copy run off.
Thank you.
And for
That's all
Victoria, who was the reporter writer, I don't think there's anything new in terms of what's just come out that hasn't already been covered in your report.
Not particularly. I guess one new thing is the concept of a walkway and a bridleway, which I think maybe wasn't quite so highlighted in the submission. And I think there may be scope along the buffer for that sort of thing. I think it would be, if you were going to include a walkway and a bridleway, I think it would be better sited along the buffer rather than along as a corridor along the roadway, just given heavy vehicles and people and horses probably don't mix so well. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to incorporating that sort of feature, but I guess formation of it would then come down to development on the site as well, so it might be a staggered sort of formation.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked whether it was a legal road was because of that. So
yeah.
you couldn't have the walkway going on the private right-of-way unless the private right-of-way people agreed would increase maintenance on it, which would probably mean that there'd be a reluctance.
Yeah,
Huge,
I think you'd want to put it in the development area and put the onus on the future development.
That's why I put that like that, yeah. And it was also, in some way, I think there is an onus for some compensation for taking the equestrian zone away. And I know, thank you very much, I know that Debbie and Gary Gibson, particularly Debbie, would feel similar to myself, but she is currently unwell, so.
We've noted both the submission for the hearing from the Talbots.
Oh, good.
That we talked about this morning a bit to understand the issues fully. So again, thank you for your time.
You are most welcome, thank you.
Which brings us to the end of the presentations that we've got today. So we will adjourn to do some deliberations unless there's anything else from administrative or reporters' point of view that we need. So we'll adjourn until 9:30 tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Can we just confirm then that Environment Southland are coming at the end of the day tomorrow after Clark Fortune?
That's correct.
Okay.
You know what time Environment Southland are coming? 3 o'clock.